guys, welcome back to Plain Simple Projects. Working on the treehouse here, and today we're going to talk about stairs or ladders. And so basically what we're looking at is how to find the right angle that we feel comfortable with. A couple things worth considering when making the ladder is that typically a ladder is a 1:4 ratio that allows somebody to essentially hold it while walking up the ladder. So that's why if I stand here, if my arms straight out, I can basically hold this. So anyway, looking at about I think it's about 75 degrees is the standard ladder, but I went ahead and shallowed that out a little bit, closer to 71 degrees, or sorry, to 21 degrees off of 90, so it puts me down around 69. I put it to 68 just to give me a little bit more buffer. So a couple of considerations we're thinking about is that when I built the ladder, I need to determine how much of the ladder will rest upon this 2x8, and then the angle for the feet and for the top. So as you look here, I have a square, one of the best tools ever invented, it seems like. And you'll notice I can go ahead and measure the angle I have here, which is at 68 degrees on this, and then measure the distance from where this ladder will stop right here down at the bottom, which I get in this case 39.5 inches. I'm going to run 5 treads basically, and so you can calculate based on that distance, 39.5 with the 5 treads, which should give me about 6 spaces in there. And with that, I can calculate the distance between each of the treads, and one would be at least less than 7, especially with little kids potentially using this. I want it to be close enough so that they can make each step. So looking at that, I also have to keep in mind that I need the distance out from the 2x8 here to be such that it allows me to keep a full tread on each of these. So the last tread, if I'm not careful, I'll cut it off if I bring it too tight. So I have to make sure that the distance down from the top to where that tread's going to be is still 5.5 inches, because I'm using 2x6 for the treads for the stairs and ladder. And I'm just going to use screws on both sides of the rails to hold those treads. But anyway, that's how we measured that out. You can kind of modify it however you want to do it. I'm not an expert at this, but this is just me trying to evaluate how best to do this. So we'll go ahead and get started and start building this ladder. So I want to walk you through how I actually mark these, because it can get kind of confusing actually if you start trying to find the right angle. So here's my 68 degrees, so you can make a mark there. I did actually one that was wrong. Here's my 68 degrees, so mark that there. And then actually what I ended up doing was using this piece here to this is a 21.5 degree mark here. So I went ahead and ran that first, which is pretty close to where I want it, and then run it there like that, and then I can double check it. It's pretty close. There it is. I double check it by running it basically up here through here. So I run this top point where it needs to be, and then check where that line passes through, and it should be about 68 degrees. So what I decide to do. So I think you can change it, but the key is consistency. So same type of deal down here. Further down, I went 39.5 inches down here to the other part of the tread, and once again do the same thing. And my pivot point here, the mark is, and you can see this is once again at 68 degrees. So it tells me that's good. So we're going to cut these 2 pieces here, maintaining the 39.5 on each side of that tread, of that riser. And then what we'll have to do is we'll have to cut this piece here like this so that it will fit flush against that 2x8 while still leaving enough space, the 2x6, the tallest tread up top here that we'll put on here. So we just have space for that piece. Okay, let's get started. Okay, so I want to kind of show you this. We're getting ready basically to cut this part here of the riser, and or not the riser, but the kind of the rails. And so we had measured for 3.5 inches was what this top should be, and it would allow us to have enough 5.5 inches here for the last tread. So this was kind of important, and I wanted to kind of talk through it a little bit. So I can remember how I did it. So anyway, basically measured first up here. We got this 3.5 inches. Hang on. So 3.5 inches here. So there's our 3.5 inches off the mark, off the top. That's what we want. And then I draw a 90-degree line from that, where it's going to meet with that 2x8. So ran down the side there. Got our line there, no problem. And then to do a double check, when I divided this distance, the vertical, which was, I think it was 37 inches, by 6 spaces, because I have 5 treads, it came out to be about 6.1 inches per space. So went ahead and marked the 6 inches there, double check it, and then ran the distance across from there to see. And that's 5.5. 5.5 is still gives me about a 1/4 inch buffer there. So I want to kind of highlight this. You'll notice that this number here is 22, which is the opposite of our 68 degrees, right? Because 90 degrees in a triangle, or 90 degree into a right triangle. So so that tells you this angle here that I drew. Double check the size of the riser there is right. So that's 22 degrees. Which is what I want to see if I'm running a 68 degree angle here. So that all adds up, and if it doesn't add up, then something's gone wrong. So if it adds up, then that's what we want to see. Okay, so let's go ahead and start cutting. We'll cut this piece here like that, and then we'll make the other side. I want to show you, so they fit pretty good, and obviously there's some variation in the ground there, so those angles aren't going to be perfect, but we can always move the ground around a little bit if we need to get them closer. But now we got to decide on the width of our ladder, and then we can go ahead and draw the points for our treads, and we'll get those in there. Okay, cutting the treads for the ladder. And I went ahead and settled on about 18 inches. You know, I think OSHA says 16 inches for each tread for a ladder. I've got the board to do it, so I might as well make it a little bit longer. And I can always shorten it up if I want to, but I can never really make it wider if I want to. So I'm gonna do 18 inches. It seems like that might work just fine for us. So mark those out. And I think it leaves me about 6 inches extra. So we'll cut right on the mark. I find cutting within a 16th of what I mark works pretty good for what I do, but anyway, we'll go ahead and cut those up, get those treads cut.